What's up, knife fellers? I got another one for you. This big old beast of a knife. The ZT0909, I think. Yeah, something like that. I'll tell you first thing right off the bat. A lot of the stuff I was reading on the forums was talking about, they were bashing this knife. A lot of guys didn't like it. Obviously because ZT discontinued the knife. So obviously there was people that weren't liking it. But my view on that is that they never had this in their hands. Because if you just go by looks, I mean, everybody's throwing a fit about non-skeletonized liners and how thick and heavy this knife is. And I don't know, I think people just get too picky sometimes on the forums without actually handling the knife. What they call knife snobs, I guess. Anyways, I love this knife. And this is coming from carrying a Benchmade Contigo for a year. So this is actually a little smaller than the Contigo. I think it weighs a little more, about an ounce and a half or so. But I'm gonna tell you, man, once you get this thing in your hands, it is just nothing but solid awesomeness. It is so strong. I mean, the flipper is great for a knife this big. I mean, it fires out there as fast as any of the other ZTs, and that's with a big old chunky, I don't know, it's probably 0.18, 0.19 blade stock. So about 190 thousandths, which is it's about 3/16 thick. But man, the grip on this thing too is just crazy. I mean, y'all know the Contigo. I had to take sandpaper down the edges of the Contigo, and then on all the jimping they had here and on this part of the knife, and then they had some jimping up here. I ground all that down, ground down the liners smooth flush with the handles. I didn't like all that jimping. So, you know, it was a lot better. But even with all that scalloping they have on there, this G10 is still, it feels like sandpaper, like 400 grit sandpaper. If you took your finger and put it on 400 grit sandpaper and tried to push your thumb, it's about the same thing. You can hear that. I mean, it's gripping my thumb. And I don't know, man. I love it. You know, I've seen some videos talk about the blade retention, edge retention problems with the S35 in blade steel that this is made out of. That, I don't know. It could have been a fluke. I don't know. The guy who did it did 2 tests, I think, with 2 of the same knives, and it came out the same, so I don't know. But from what I've used it, I got it yesterday. From what I've used it today, I mean, I don't know. It holds an edge fine. I think some of these people get too caught up on cutting rope into 1-inch pieces and slicing up cardboard into 5,000 pieces. You know, it's like, man, just use the knife. If you use the knife in the day, sharpen it at the end of the day. Strop it and be done. You won't have to worry about edge retention for, you know, 400 years worth of use, and it only degrades a little. It still shaves after 400 years. So, you know, I mean, the liners are just, they're so thick and awesome. You know, it's a heavy knife, but the crazy thing is, I like this knife better than I like my 560. Now, obviously, aesthetically, I like the 560 better. Black wash edition, is, you know, it's great. All the machine work and everything they do and all the titanium is awesome. But as far as a knife, I don't mind beating on. This is it. I mean, it's plain Jane. which is what which is what I want an EDC for. I don't want to carry around a pocket jewel and be scared to do anything with it because it's too pretty to mess up. You know, this was built for use, period. You know, it's not real pretty, but it has a better blade grind than the 560. I know that for a fact, because cutting up cardboard it slices pretty good. I mean, even with that thick blade stock, that's a 85% height flat saber grind. I don't even know if that's the same thing, but I think it's a saber grind, but it goes up pretty high, so it's pretty thin at the edge. And I will say this sucker is like hypodermic needle sharp on the tip. ZT did a really good job on the edge. I have not touched this edge. I stropped it a little bit with 4 micron, but that's it, just to crispen up the edge a little bit. But their grinds are pretty spot on. Now eventually I'll end up putting like a 20 degree per side on it, you know, but I'm not going to touch it right now because it is plenty sharp enough for EDC use, which has never happened in any knife I've ever gotten. The first thing I always do is reprofile it to 17 or 20 degrees, but this one I haven't needed to. So that's kudos to ZT. And the best part about this knife, saved for last, you can get these right now as of May 18th, 2018 on knifecenter.com for $129.99. How crazy is that? I would not have bought this if it was $200, but at $129 I could not pass it up. Couldn't pass it up. Man, that's a boatload of knife awesomeness for $129. You can't beat that. So when they're sold out, they're sold out. So if you're on the fence about getting one and you want a heavy duty EDC, this is absolutely probably one of the best ones out there, I would think. Because there's no frills, no whistles. It just, you know, it was made to do what it was made to do, and that's just cut and stay together. So it's not as smooth as my other ones. Let's see. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's still smooth. It's on bearings, of course, like all ZTs, just about, except for one. But yeah, man, if you're been eyeballing one of these, I would strongly suggest picking one up at $129. Thank you very much.